Hey, welcome to another edition of Rooftop Rally Point. Now, I know what you're thinking. The first few episodes in January, it was battlefield to boardroom. But here's the thing. My team and I huddled up, and what we decided was the rooftop leadership concept, the servant leader, human connection concept, is applicable to so much more than the corporate world. And we just don't want to be exclusive into just that. And really rallying up on the rooftop and talking about the elements of this kind of servant leader, human connection approach is more appropriate. So that's what you're going to hear us call it from here on out. When I was going through Ranger School, we would do missions in all these different places in the U.S., up in the mountains of Dahlonega, the desert out in Texas, the swamps of North Florida. One thing was always consistent, though. Anytime the chopper would sit down and we would roll off the choppers to do our mission, we would move quickly into the wood line. We would lay down in the prone position on our bellies, and we would wait for the choppers to lift off, and then we would lay there very still. And the patrol leader, the guy in charge who would be in the middle of us, would take his hat off and he would signal that it was time to do SLLS. Now, what SLLS stands for is stop, look, listen, and smell. And the reason that we do that is we've just left a very noisy, chaotic, fast-paced environment of the modern world, and now we are out in this new territory where we are literally animals, right, on the hunt. We are on a mission. And so we have to adjust, we have to acclimate ourselves quickly to the sights, the sound, the smell, the feel of the environment around us. If you watch an animal in the forest, they do the same thing. If you've ever seen an animal, my dad was a forest ranger, so you would see this a lot, is an animal that's on the edge of a forest fire. They'll stop, they'll look, they'll listen, they'll smell, right? And so it's the same approach. It's basically recognizing that you've gone from one environment to a new environment, and then it's immersing yourself in that new environment and no longer being a guest, but surrounding yourself on purpose, immersing into that environment. And I will tell you, that is a useful tool set, not just in the military world, right? But also in your life, whether you are a corporate leader, whether you're an entrepreneur or a nonprofit leader, or you're just taking your family out to eat in a crowded restaurant, right? The recognition that one is moving from one environment to another environment and allowing your senses to dial into that new environment and becoming present is a very, very relevant thing to do as a rooftop leader, right? It allows you to show up in a way that is much more effective, right? So the title of this episode is SLLS, Stop, Look, Listen, and Smell, being present in the chaos. Because all around us, this chaos is going on. If you walk into a restaurant, just notice how people they're lost in their own conversations. They're not paying attention to what's going on around them. Most of them have their head buried in their phones. They're in their head, they're not in their body. And it's just this loud cacophony of chaos. You like that word, Wes? Cacophony? I like it. Can you put that like in spelling on the lower third? But everywhere you go, you see this. In a board meeting, or if you go to a presentation or a conference, notice how everyone's just there in their own head. No one's connected to the other person. No one's really dialed in. So how do we walk into a new environment and do our own version of SLLS? Now look, there's different reasons for doing that. But for the military reason, we do it because if we don't do that, then we might miss a sound that is foreign to the area around us, and it compromises us and somebody gets hurt or killed, right? We might miss out on a direction based on something that we hear, right? Or a road that's nearby. So there's all kinds of security reasons, but that's the same in your life. If you walk into a crowded mall, right, and on New Year's Eve, and you do SLLS, you are more situationally aware, you're more present and aware of what's going on around you than most other people, which means you have a competitive edge should a threat present itself. If you're down in your phone, right, or you're engaged in a conversation where you've dialed everything else out, then the odds are you're going to be one of those people saying, I thought something felt wrong, but I'm just not sure how I missed it, right? So there's that. So doing a version of SLLS is useful for that. But also in the leadership world, in the communication world, if you have to give a presentation, if you have to hear a presentation, if you have to walk in the house and be there for your kids and wife or husband at the end of a long day. Being present. By doing stop, look, listen, smell, we automatically send a signal to our brain to drop in and be present. And when we're present, we're available to the other party. The other party senses this, and they reciprocate that action, and a connection is formed, right? So it's powerful stuff, man. So doing SLLS can help you own the room. It can help you be the most relevant person in the room, right? Just by being present and available. So how do you do it? Well, before you walk in the room, stop. Or when you get in the room, stop, look around, notice what you see. What's the baseline of things? Are people comfortable, uncomfortable, right? Are they, are they paying attention to each other? Are they in their phones? But what's the baseline of the room look like? Stop, look, listen, right? Really take in the sounds and let them occupy your personal space. Hear those sounds. You can even close your eyes and just listen, right? And it will really give you, once again, a baseline of what's going on in the room, and it'll drop you in. You'll also, it'll let you, if you hear foreign sounds that don't belong, you'll be able to do that, right? And then finally, smell. Our sense of smell is such a powerful thing, our olfactory senses, and we don't use it enough. We've had it for hundreds of thousands of years, so just take a moment, again, eyes closed, and just kind of let yourself take in the smells. Now, what you're basically doing, folks, is you're just activating your senses. When I do the play Last Out, we do something very similar before we walk on to the stage. Larry Moss, one of the best directors on the planet, says that, when you walk onto the stage, you need to, in the scene, what does the rain smell like outside? Can you smell the mildew? Can you hear the drops on the ground? Can you feel them on your skin, right? The more we are aware at a sensory level, the more effective we are and the more present we are. And SLLS, any version of that you want to do, can help you do that. Now, I'm not suggesting you go in the room and just take a knee and start doing that. I'm just saying take a couple of minutes. The way I do it is I walk into the room, I kind of step off to the side. If it's a presentation room or I'm going to give a presentation, I'll kind of get in there and I'll close my eyes. First, I'll look around, and I'll close my eyes and listen and smell. And then I'll just do some deep breaths like this. And just let go on the exhale and notice the temperature of the room. Notice those things, stop, look, listen, smell, and you'll drop in really quick. It works, it's effective, it makes you more relevant and present, and it'll really help you connect to what's going on in the room, okay? Give it a shot. SLLS, stop, look, listen, and smell. It's how we're present in the chaos. Till next time, I'll see you on the rooftop.